Hello everyone, this is Arohi and welcome to the next video of deep learning program, detailed deep learning program. So in my today's class, I'll show you how to perform image classification using perceptron algorithm. Means using one neuron only, how we can perform image classification. So let's begin with that. See guys, let's talk about this example first of all. So this is one image and we can see and we can finally tell like this is an image of rose. These are flowers. This is an image of roses, right? We can say it. But how computer sees this image? So computer will see this image something like this with the array of pixels. Means we visualize the image in different way. When we see, we can directly tell this is a rose, right? But computer reads that image in the form of array of different pixel values. So you can see these values over here. These are different pixel values and all these values are lying between 0 to 255. 0 to 255 is basically a pixel intensity. Every pixel has one intensity level, right? And 0 to 255 is the range, and every number, this 01 or this 21, this 55, 36, these are different pixels with different pixel intensities, right? And what I mean by this pixel intensity, so you can see over here also, if the value is 0, 0 is the most blackish color. Okay, so when this 01, what this 1 means, that over here the pixel which is over here, the intensity of that pixel is 0, right? 0 or dark grayish because it is closer to 0. And 255 means white, the most whitish pixel intensity, right? So let's suppose if you have value near about 230 or 240, that means that pixel value having a whitish intensity. Okay, so every time when you're working on images, always remember computer will understand image in the form of array of different pixel value, and every pixel value have different intensity which lies between 0 to 255. 0 means the most blackish pixel value and the 255 is the whitish. Okay, and this 28 into 28 into 3, 28 height and 28 width. These are the first two dimension. Means 28 into 28 means height and width of image is 28. And this 3 means colored image. RV, you can also say it RGB image. Red, green, blue. RGB. Right? This 3 simply means we are talking about colored image. Let's suppose if this is not here, we are writing like this only, 28 into 28. What that means is we are talking about a grayscale image, black and white image. Okay, so whenever you have this 3 with the at the last of the image dimension, that means we are talking about colored image. Okay, so we are talking about an image, the size of an image is 28 into 28, and the number of channels, this 3 are number of channels. How many output channels we have? We have 3 channels, R, G and B, and that means this is a colored image, and this is how computer sees this image, right? So guys, whenever you want to work on images, then we need to perform some kind of image pre-processing, data pre-processing before running a algorithm on it, right? So what that thing is, first of all, always remember you need to resize all your images to one size. Whenever you are working on image dataset, all your images in your dataset should be of same size, and if they are not of same size, then you have to write a code by which you can resize all the images. Okay, I'll show you how to do this in my today's class. So the very first thing is resize all the images, and the second thing is convert those images into arrays like this. We have images like this. First of all, we will resize the all the images, and the next task is to convert them in the form of array. Convert them into the form of number of pixels of arrays so that computer can understand it. So this is what we need to do. So in my today's example, Today's example is image classification, flower classification. We have two different kind of flowers. Let me show you the data set first of all. So this is the data set. So flowers folder is our dataset folder. When you open this folder, you have two folder, rose and tulip. We have two kind of different flowers in the separate folders. When you click on rose folder, you'll get a flowers which are related to which all are roses. And when you click on tulip, you'll get all the tulip flowers. Okay. So what the task is, we have two different kind of classes, rose and tulip, right? And we want to build an image classifier which can tell us whether the new unseen image, when we give that image to our algorithm, whether that image is of rose or of a tulip. Okay, so let's begin with the task. So first of all, I'm importing all the required modules, right? And then in flowers underscore type is a variable, and over here this is just a directory path. I'm telling where that folder is exactly. So my folder, this dataset folder name is flowers. So I've written that also. So let's suppose if you want to give a proper path like in C drive, in which particular folder you have this particular dataset folder. So you have to define the full path over here. If your dataset is in some other folder and your code which you are writing is in some other folder. So in my case, the code, see, lecture 10 single layer perceptron flower classification, lecture 10 single layer classification, and my flowers folder dataset is in same folder. So that's why I've directly written the folder name. But let's suppose if you are having code in different directory and your dataset is in different directory, then you have to give the path according to that. Okay, so after giving the path, I'm printing this variable. When I print this variable, so here you can see we have two names over here, rose and tulip. Why I'm getting these two names over here? Because we have two folders over here, rose and tulip. We are getting the name of list of directories which is present in flowers folder. So os.list directory is a method by which you can get the name of all the directories which are present in this particular location. So we have these two directories present at this location. So that's why we are getting this. Okay. Now, next task is to resize all the images. Guys, remember I've told you whenever you want to work on image dataset, the very first thing is you need to resize all your images. So that's what I'm doing over here. I am using CV2 module, import CV2. So I'm importing that module. Guys, you need to install this module. Let's suppose if this module is not installed in your PC, then you can install it using pip. Pip install OpenCV. You'll get command like this, or pip install python hyphen opencv. The command is like this. You can copy that command from internet and you can paste and you can install opencv. Okay, so after installing opencv, you can import it. And in path is a variable in which I have mentioned the path where our data set is. im underscore size is a variable and I have mentioned 60 over here. That simply means, see guys, this variable I have created, I have mentioned a size in it, and what I want is I want to resize all my images to this size, 60 into 60 into 3. Why 3? Because we have colored images and I want to resize all those images to which particular size? 60 into 60. Height and width should be 60. Okay. So this variable is carrying the size. Now I have two separate lists. One list is images and other list is labels. This images list will store all the images and this labels list will store all the related labels. Now what I mean by this? See over here. What all images we have? We have roses, right? And in images list, we will store all these images. And in label list, we will store the name of folder. Label name is name of folder. We know that all the images which are present in rows folder belongs to rows class, right? And all the images which are present in tulip folder belongs to which label? Tulip label. So let's suppose if you have 100 images in rows, so in images list, we will get the name of all those 100 images, and corresponding to that in label folder we will get the name of the folder, right? What is the name of the folder? Rows, and that will become the label also. Got my point? So now we want to resize and we have multiple images. That means we have to run a loop, right? What we need to do is, first of all, we need to enter in a folder, this folder. Again, over here we have multiple folder, we have two folder, that means we need one for loop over here. And when we enter in a folder, then again we need another for loop which will resize all the images. So the first for loop is to enter in first folder once, and after finishing the work we will enter in second folder. So this is the task of first for loop. And under that for loop we have another for loop. The task of that for loop is to resize all the images. Now see over here. So we have this for loop. The task of this for loop is to enter in folders one by one. First of all, it will enter in a rows folder and will resize all the images. And after that, it will enter in tulip folder, and then again it will resize all the images which are present in tulip folder. So here you can see how I'm resizing. There is one method with the name of resize in CV2. We have imported CV2 over here module. So from CV2 module, we are using a resize method, and what we want to resize? We want to resize this image. Which image? Which is present in img variable. What is present in img variable? We are reading a image. imRead is again another method to read an image. Which image we want to read? The image which is present at this particular location. What is present at this particular location? We have entered in a folder, and then we have a name. We entered in a folder. After entering in a folder, we are checking. We want all those images which are ending with .jpg extension. So what we have done is, data path variable is entering in a folder, and then it is getting an image, all those images which are ending with .jpg. We are reading those images over here. After reading, we are resizing those images to this size, im size, im size. That simply means 60, 60. That means we want to resize all the images to 60 by 60 size. Okay. After resizing the images, we are updating this images list, which is blank, where we want to store the resized images. Images is a blank list, and we are using a append method. Append method simply means we want to keep on adding new data after every iteration. Okay, so we want to update this images list, which is blank right now, with the data, this image. Which image is this? The resized image. See, we have performed the resized operation in it, right? And corresponding to that, labels is again a list, which is again blank right now, and we will get the corresponding label of that. So if the image which we have resized over here, if that image is present in rows folder, so under labels we'll get rows. And if that image belongs to tulip folder which we have resized, then under labels corresponding to that particular image, our label will be tulip. So now we have two separate lists. One list is images, which is now having a resized image of 60 into 60 into 3 because that is a colored image. And labels is a list which will store the folder name. Folder name, rose or tulip. Those are the labels name. Those are the output classes, right? So we have images and labels list now. Now we'll work on these lists. See, After resizing, what is the next task? We need to convert the image in the form of array, because then only your algorithm will understand the image. So images list is having resized images. So now over here I have an images variable np.array. np means numpy. I'm using a array method of numpy and I'm converting all the images which are present in images list and I'm storing over here. That's it guys. By this single line you can convert all your images into an array. So we have converted all the images into an array. And then in next line, see, you can even skip this line. This line simply means I'm dividing all the array values. We have converted the images into array over here, right? So over here we are converting all the array values by 255 just for mathematical simplification, right? And after that I'm printing the images. Now you can see we have different values, pixel values. So this is what I have shown you here, right? So you will get an output, computer will understand the image in the form of array. So now our images are in the form of arrays, right? So after resizing the images, now let's check the shape of images, whether our images got resized or not. So images dot shape. So in our data set means we have two folders, roses and tulips. Total number of images in our dataset are 3536 and the size of images are 16 to 60. This is the resized image size, right? And 3 means those all images are colored images. So we have performed the image pre-processing, right? So now our images are ready to now we can give those images to our algorithm for training. Okay. Now we have another problem. Another issue is our labels are rose and tulip, right? Labels list. Okay, labels list. What is there in our labels list? Labels will have rose or tulip, right? So those are strings. And in my previous class also, I have told you that computer or machine learning or deep learning algorithm understands the data in the form of numbers. So that means we need to perform label encoding first of all. Label encoding will convert your string values, your output classes into numbers, and then we will use one-hot encoding. Why we are using one-hot encoding? Because in deep learning, all the algorithms accept the output y variable in the when we have separate column for every different class. So we have two output classes. One is for rose and other output classes for tulip. So we are going to have two different classes by using one-hot encoding. Let me show you how I did that. So now over here in y variable, y equals to labels. That means the data which is in label list, I am giving that data to y variable and then I'm performing label encoding on it. After performing label encoding, we are getting data in this form 0 and 1. Why only two kind of numbers? Because we have two classes. One is of rose and one 0 is for rose and 1 is for tulip. So now we are performing one-hot encoding because we need one separate column for each class. So that's why we have performed one-hot encoding. After one-hot encoding, now we will divide our data in train and test. So this is what I'm doing over here. I'm converting my data into train and test. And over here, I'm checking the shape. So we have 2828 images of size 60 into 60. 3 means RGB colored image in our train X, and 2828 records and two output classes in our train Y. And this is we have in our test X and this is we have in our test Y. So guys, one more important thing. So till now we have our image like this, right? So if you want to solve the image classification problem using this perceptron, then you have to convert your image, which is in two-dimensional right now, height and width, and we have depth also, colored image, right? Depth. So you need to convert your image into one-dimensional array. One-dimensional array simply means just multiply all the pixels value. That means 60 into 60 into 3. What you will get when you multiply 60 with 60 and then multiply it with 3, you will get 10800. 10800. What we are doing over here is we are, earlier we have three-dimensional image over here. Now we are converting that image into a one-dimensional vector. One-dimensional vector means multiply all the pixel values. So that's what we are doing over here. So we have 2828 images and we had converted, when you'll multiply it, you'll get 10800. We have converted that image into a one-dimensional image. In the same way, for test also, text also, you have to perform the same functionality. See, train Y and test Y, there is no need to do anything over here because we are talking about images right now, right? And train Y and test Y is storing the labels name. Where we have our images? We have our images in trainx and testx. So you have to convert all your images which are in trainx and testx to a one-dimensional vector. And how you can convert your images into a one-dimensional vector? Just multiply the whole image size. That means 60 into 60 into 3. So this is what I've done for testx and this is what I've done for trainx. Now your images are like this. The shape of your images are like this. Earlier it was like this when your images are not in one-dimensional form, but right now your images are in one-dimensional form, so you will get your images like this. Now our data is ready, our images are ready, our labels are ready. Now let's start the functionality of a perceptron. So this is a learning rate, clear. Epochs, 1000 epochs I want to run. N underscore dim equals to 60. See, I have created one variable. In next few lines, we need to mention 60 at some places, the image height and width. So that's why I have stored it in a separate variable. N class is equal to 2. So we have two output classes, rose and tulip. So that's why I've written this over here. Now what we need? We need X input. See over here, the very last line thing. Why I'm writing 10800. So this is the dimension of your input image, right? So this is the dimension of our input image, right? So guys, always remember whenever you are working on image classification problems, so in X over here you have to define the dimension of your image, right? So let's suppose if your image size is 50 into 50 into 3, you'll get some different number over here. Then you need to define that number over here. All right. And weight, guys, if you remember from my last class in Sonar dataset, I have told you like this. These are the, what is this 10800? These are the different pixels. We have these many pixels, right, in our image. And for every pixel value, we will have separate weight value. So if you have 10800 pixels, that means you're going to have 10800 weights also. So because this value and this value I have told you would be same forever. So if you are writing whatever you are writing here in weights, you have to write the same thing. So we have these many pixel values over here. So we need weight value for every pixel value. And over here, n classes, right? Two output classes. And bias, we have two kind of, we need two bias values because we have two output classes. And this y underscore, this is basically our actual y. This is our actual y, and the variable which I'm using for it is y underscore, and y means how many output classes we have? 2. That's why I've written n class over here. Okay guys? Right. So we have defined everything. Now let's initialize the variable. So I'm over here, I'm initializing the variable, and This is the functionality of perceptron now. This is the functionality of perceptron. What we are doing? So perceptron means an artificial neuron and we have two functions in it. So the very first function is multiply inputs with weights and bias, add bias in it. So this is the summation function. After performing summation function, perform activation function on it. And which activation function I'm using then? We have performed summation first of all, and on that the output of summation will become input to activation function, and then we are applying a softmax activation function on it. Why we are applying softmax activation function? Because this is an image classification problem. We want to know whether the particular image is of rose or tulip. So softmax function will give us the probability of each class, and the class which will have higher probability will become the output class, right? So this is our model code. Once you run your model, what we do is we calculate the cost function, we calculate loss, we calculate error. So that's what I'm doing over here. After calculating the loss, what we do? What is loss calculation? Comparing the actual y value with the predicted y value. This y underscore is our actual y value and PRED is our predicted y value. So we have calculated the loss. After calculating a loss, we update the weights and retrain our algorithm. Okay, so that's what I'm doing over here. I'm using gradient descent optimizer over here to update the weights, and learning rate we have already defined above. See, epochs. 1000 epochs. That means I want to retrain my algorithm 1000 times with this learning rate. That means we will be updating our weights 1000 times. Okay. So this is what optimizer does, right? We have built a graph now. Now we will run the functionality. So for that you need to start a session. Then run init simply means initialize all the variables. Cost history is a blank list. Over here we will be storing all the errors, right? Now this is what we are doing over here. What we are doing over here is we want to run this code 1000 times. Training epochs, remember over here. Here training epochs are 1000. So what we are doing is we are using for loop because we want to repeat the process. How many times? 1000 times. And what we want to do is we want to run the session. We want to update the weights every time, and the data x is a placeholder and y is a placeholder. Remember, this y is a placeholder and x is a placeholder. So we need to give data to them. So what data we are giving to x? Train x, and to y we are giving train y. On the basis, we will train our algorithm 1000 times on this data set. Okay, after updating the weights every time. And we are storing the error cost function which we have calculated over here. We are storing a cost function, right guys? And this is what you are seeing over here. For every epoch you are getting a different error, right? So this is how image classification work. So guys, today I just gave you a very basic idea. In my next class I'll show you how to test your algorithm, and even we'll work on some data visualization, means how to show your data on screen, right? What kind of data you have. We'll display a few images over here, and I'll show you how to give unseen data to your computer, and we will see how our computer predicts the output. These kind of things I'll show you in my next class. Thank you for now.